This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not.
Welcome to the Warner Brothas Podcast. My name is Keenan, joined by my brother Kyle, joined by Timmy, been a long time no see, and Brandon, who has been a staple over the summer. We appreciate him being that. Guys, how are we doing?
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Football's back.
Lively.
Always good.
Football is back,
6
baby.
thumbs up.
There we go. That's much better. That was a lively introduction. How's everyone doing?
2 thumbs up.
That nervous kid in school. You doing okay today? I guess. but anyways, I know we're all excited. Let's get right into it. We had actual big football news that happened today with Terry McLaurin requesting a trade from the Commanders. Obviously, he's been in kind of contract talks and all that good stuff. So I'm actually going to start with Timmy. Timmy, what are your thoughts on Terry McLaurin, like requesting a trade, and do you have any potential teams or suitors that would want Terry McLaurin?
I haven't thought about destinations for Terry, but I can understand Terry's frustration here. He's coming off the best season of his career. The team had the most success that they've ever had while he's been in Washington. He wants to get paid. He's old. He needs to get paid now or he's not going to get paid. That's the sentiment here. So I understand it. I'm just really confused with Washington's perspective on this. Like, they know that if they want Terry on their squad, they're going to have to pay him a big contract. So why not just sign it earlier? We had this argument last year with Jamar Chase. It's why wait a year?
We'll be talking about it in about probably 15 minutes.
Yeah, why wait a year and blow up your contract the next year if that is the case, when you could just pay him now, front load it now, get the money out of the way before you need to sign Jaden Daniels to a big deal, and then you're good to go. Like, I don't think Terry necessarily deserves $35 million a year. I don't think he needs to be breaking the wide receiver numbers or anything like that, but he's going to get paid high 20s, maybe $30 million. Like, that is inevitable. A team will pay him that, so if they do trade him, that's what's going to happen. When I was talking to Camden about this, at the time they had just asked, somebody had come out and said that Terry McLaurin was looking for DK Metcalf money, which I believe is just over $30 million a year. So I actually have a question for you guys. Would you guys rather have Terry McLaurin or DK Metcalf as your wide receiver one?
I'll go ahead. I'd rather have Terry. I'd rather have scary
go.
Terry. I think he's a little bit more reliable.
That was Camden's sentiment. Camden agrees. He would also rather have Terry. I personally would rather have Terry, I think. For at least the next 2 years, I would rather have Terry.
He's more consistent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if he's just asking for DK money, just give him DK money, man. You can pay him right now. You're going to pay Jaden Daniels a $600 million contract in 3 or 4 years, so you might as well get the money out of the way when you can.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, truly, I agree with that 100%. Because Terry's a very good receiver, and I would just get it out of the way. Brandon, I'm going to let you go, and then Kyle, and then I'm going to talk about a little bit about Terry McLaurin. I have some destinations, so if you guys don't have them, I've got a few destinations that I think you'd fit perfectly with.
I got a couple of destinations in mind, but I agree. I would pay him. Like, I think 28 to I'd pay him anywhere from 28 to 32. Like, if he wants 30, if he wants 32, then like, yeah, that's fine. Because the thing is, like, if you lose Terry McLaurin, let's say hypothetically they trade him, they don't really have too much after him. It's Deebo Samuel, who looks like he's about 250 pounds. And honestly, just wasn't very good last year, metric-wise, against man or zone coverage. And then it's like Luke McCaffrey. They lost De'Ami Brown. Like, Jalen Lane's a cool little rookie they got, but like, there's nobody else besides him. And like, their tight end room also isn't good. So like, you wouldn't have a number one pass catcher. Like, pay the man. Like, give him a 4-year deal. Give him 4 years, 120. Like, I just get it done with, because you're not going to be able to replace that, especially this late into. Actually, now that we're getting into the preseason, early into the season, if you will. As far as destinations, I think the Chargers. I think the Chargers would be a sneaky good destination. They could use a number one receiver. Like, I think Ladd's great, but like, I think he's kind of like a de facto number one.
Yeah.
I could also see. I could see the divisional, but I could see the Giants kind of like
Hmm.
using somebody like Terry. And honestly, too, the Houston Texans. Like, I think the Houston Texans could go after Terry. Like, I think there's a lot of teams that would.
That's one of the teams I had written down. I have 5, and that was one of the ones because I thought Tank Dell's injury history's already been up and down, so you can now
Mhm.
get Terry to pair with Nico. Nico's your downfield threat, Terry's your underneath threat kind of thing. Then when Tank does come back, you have that really home run threat. So you kind of hit all areas of the field. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that would use or that could use Terry McLaurin. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'd even take him to Jacksonville. We don't need him, but like, I'd take him.
Yeah, why not?
But I think they definitely need to get that contract done and get that out of the way because they need him. I think he's probably one of the most important players on that team.
Yeah. Kyle, what are your thoughts?
I'll keep it short and sweet. I think this is a non-story, and I think he'll be on the Commanders roster week 17, week 18 of the season. This is a yearly occasion. It's pick a receiver at this point, pick a position player. You're going to have a holdout. It's going to be a requested trade. It's going to make news, like something's going to happen, and then lo and behold, he's going to be on the roster. He's probably going to get paid too. So not much of a story to me. Yeah, it's almost a non-story to me, honestly. I think McLaurin, again, he'll be on the Commanders, who I keep wanting to call the Redskins or the football team. So, yeah, he'll be in Washington.
Football team, low key their best
Kind of
name.
was. Kind of was.
At the time, I hated it, but now looking back, I was just thinking, like, yeah, they're just a football team.
Yeah, just a football team.
Yeah, we're just gonna go play that football team. But yeah, so you're right, Kyle. I do think that ultimately the Commanders are going to be going to be one of the top option for him to go back to. Like they're just going to figure out this deal because I do think that there is a level of urgency to get him, as Brandon highlighted with their depth at receiver. When Debo's your 2 and then Brown is your 3, when all of that stuff lines up, then you're good. When people have to play out of position, that's when things really kind of get a little dicey, and you're like, okay, I'm not sure Debo has 2021 Debo in him anymore. So, and then those are the kind of things where that offense can kind of just start to go down all because of one player. But going to entertain the idea in case he was to get traded, I think there's a few options that he could go to. Because Terry, over his career, has been an 80 catch guy, about 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns a year. Like that's kind of his production. For the last 5 years, he's been over 1,000. The first year, he was close to 900. So like he's been pretty much that every single year. The Texans were on my list. I thought the Raiders would be interesting. You put him with Jacoby Myers. You have Geno Smith there. I thought that would be interesting as well. The 49ers, I know you have Ricky Pearsall and you have Juwan Jennings, but what is Brandon Ayuk? Is Brandon Ayuk still going to be that high-level number 1? And also adding that in, you lose Debo, but you can replace Debo with Terry McLaurin. I think that can make it interesting. My 2 top teams, though, one is the Panthers. I think if you had McMillan with McLaurin to go with that offense, obviously you have Chuba Hubbard, and then like you really can see like, okay, Bryce, we got you what you need. Let's see if you're really our guy or are you just a guy? And we need to go move on next year because if they're bad again, next year we're going to have a draft that has some quarterbacks in it. So be interesting there. And then obviously hometown New England. The first thing I thought was like whatever they need, just get
Whatever they need.
whatever the Commanders need, whatever the football team needs, just ask. Because because Stephon Diggs is reportedly looking very good in camp. Whatever, take what you will from camp and how he's looking. But Stephon Diggs, if he can be a 2, and then Demario Douglas could be truly a 3, and then we just drafted a rookie as well that I like, but you don't have to throw him into the fire, and then you get McLaurin. Rolling with something nice. We're getting something nice for Drake May. So that was the hope. But I think the Panthers would be a good option. Well, I think there's a lot of teams that could use a guy who is just a sure-handed, sure receiver. So overall, we'll see what happens with Terry McLaurin. Wanted to definitely talk about it because interesting thoughts on it. But yeah, Timmy, to your point, I do think that I think McLaurin's better than Metcalf. I think McLaurin's probably roughly top 15-ish in the league. I was kind of trying to think of where you go there. Obviously, you have your top guys, Amon-Ra, no order, Amon-Ra, Jamar, Jefferson, and like those guys. He starts to get down to like the next level of guys where you're like, oh, could be him or here. So, and then T. Higgins got 4 for $1.15. So if he can get that, then Terry McLaurin should get roughly the same.
My biggest thing with Terry is he's older, so I understand they're hesitant on giving him a 3 or 4 year deal here. But you could just give him a 3-year deal. Like, that's not the end of the world to pay the man $90 million.
Yeah, like a 3-year, $100 million deal that's kind of a little front-loaded so you can get out of it in year 3 if he's no longer good. We've seen plenty of receivers good at 31, 32. So it's not like it's not like running back where you're like, oh, Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson are your anomalies, Emmitt Smith, Frank Gore kind of things where like those guys are great, but the other ones are not. So let's give them the money, move on.
Yeah, you can front-load the contract too. Like even a 4-year deal, like put all the guarantees up front, then by the time you get to the 3rd or the 4th year, you have a relatively low cap hit.
Yeah. By the time Jaden's asking for his rookie extension, if McLaurin's no longer good, you can release him and not really have anything hurt you. Like I don't see why we even need to be in this dispute.
I was telling Cam was you give him a 3-year deal. The best case scenario is that 4th year, you're having him come back for like a one-off retirement year, kind of like how Larry Fitzgerald did it. He signed a small deal, came back for a year, played another year, and then went off into the sunset. That's what would work perfectly. Just let it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been a 1,000-yard receiver every single year, and just allow him to continue that. We obviously saw what the Commanders did last year, and that was in Jaden Daniels' rookie season. So McLaurin's got more years on him. I would just pay him. But okay, so we're going to get into a couple things here. One, we're going to call it this the GM hat. So basically, Brandon, Kyle, or Timmy are going to put on their GM hat and think, what would they do in this
GM
situation? So, GM's go. So, I'm going to save that one for Kyle. So, I'm going to go with Timmy on this one, and you are the Dolphins' new GM. What are we doing? How do we improve this roster? We seem to be in a cycle with the Dolphins where they're like decent to good, but not great. You'll never think they'll win a Super Bowl or even get to an AFC Championship game, but you don't think they're going to be the worst team in the league. What do we do to improve this roster moving forward? Even if you have to take this year and kind of rework it, what are we doing moving forward?
It's funny because this is the actual question that I did not want to answer. I wanted to do the other two. That's fine. I still have a strategy here. So I'm assuming that this year plays out, and it plays out similar to the last couple of years, and I think Mike McDaniels gets fired. So that would be my first thing is I would fire
Mid-season,
Mike McDaniels.
by the way.
I'm blowing it up. I'm restarting this thing. I'm getting picks. I'm doing everything. The whole thing we see with the Dolphins is they'll have good free agents on defense, and they can't re-sign any of them. Then the offensive people that they do sign big money contracts to are constantly hurt. Tua's going down. Tyreek doesn't look like Tyreek. I think Tyreek still has something left in the tank. And you're not going to get a crazy haul for him at this age, this point in his career. But I'm blowing it up. I'm kicking the tires. I'm doing everything, getting as many picks, loading up for the future, and running this thing back with a new team because I don't think that this team, especially with Tua at the helm, has any capabilities of winning a Super Bowl. So
my question is, obviously Tua just signed a long-term deal. Are we going to try to get rid of him, or do we have is Achane staying? Is Jalen Waddle staying? Is there any player that we're like,
everybody's on the table? Everybody's on the table. Nobody's untouchable, in my opinion, here.
Okay.
I think we can find a suitor for Tua. I think a team like Vegas, after Geno Smith doesn't work out, would be willing to take him. If they're a middle-of-the-pack team that can't get a QB.
So you said that like matter-of-factly. So you think Geno and the Raiders, you think it's going to be a dud?
I think they might be like an okay team. I think they're going to be well-coached, and they might squeak out some wins that they shouldn't. But I don't think that they're going to be a playoff contender, and I don't think that they're going to be a number 1 pick contender. So they're going to be at that like 8 to 10 spot, and that's not good enough. to get that QB of the future most of the time. So, and especially they showed this year that they're willing to go out and get Geno. So I think they'd be willing to go out and get Tua, who is, I think most people would agree, better than Geno is at this point. So.
Yeah, people. Oh, guys, just as FYI, we're gonna quick plug this quarterback list. Will be ready for the beginning of the season. Just letting you guys know.
We're getting close to the season.
Yeah, we're getting close. I've already been putting it together in my
Tears of Joy season.
Close. Tears of Joy season's coming around as well. Quick question on this, guys. Brandon and Kyle, any thoughts? Comments on the way Timmy's rebuilding it? Would you do it differently? Anything at all on how he's going about business?
Had this been my question, the only real thing I would have said would have been like this past draft a real QB, right? Because Tua is just unreliable. You open with it, Keenan. You would never pick them to win the division, but they're not going to be the worst team in the league either unless everyone gets injured. And I actually think Mike McDaniel's like a good coach, but I agree with Tim. Like the writing's on the wall. He's probably going to get fired unless they're a 10-win team this season. So, I mean, what I would have done, I would have drafted a QB this past year. Tua's going to get injured. He's made of glass. And kind of played it out that way because you have enough offensive talent. You've got some defensive talent. They're already injured on defense. They've already lost 2 guys out of their secondary. So that's kind of the way I would have played it. But, I mean, the way Tim set it up, I think that's the way a lot of people would go about it is to just blow it up. Easier said than done in the NFL, I think. I think it's easier to do that in the NBA, or at least it used to be. You probably can't do that in the NBA anymore.
Yeah, it used to be very easy. Now in the NBA, you're like, well, what's your money situation like? Can we can
do you
like
have a non-trade clause?
Do you have a non-trade clause? Are you going to be in the second apron if we try to give you this player?
Yeah. So,
okay,
as far as the NFL goes, I mean, that's how I would have played it. Would have been getting a backup QB. Because who's their backup QB now? Is it Zach Wilson? I would have got a real backup QB.
Ooh, boy.
Which actually, I don't think it's a bad.
Yeah, it's decent in theory. Like that's the thing with Zach Wilson. In theory, he could be a good backup, and then you put him out there, and he's Zach Wilson. But yeah, that would have been my move. Get a real backup QB to like put pressure on him, and maybe Zach Wilson is that guy. I don't believe he is, but that would have been my move because there's enough talent on that team and coaching wise on that coaching staff to where they could have something. It just doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
So I disagree with blowing it up. I actually think you can win with Tua. I think 2 things should have happened. I would rebuild the offensive line. When they lost like Robert Hunt, Teron Armstead, they lost their center and another tackle. I would have rebuilt the offensive line. Definitely would have put some more bodies in the secondary because on paper their secondary, specifically their cornerback room, is pretty bad. And they just lost one of their top corners, Cater Kohu. I believe he tore his ACL the other day. And there goes Kyle.
Down goes Frazier. Hey, let's just keep going. He'll come in he'll come back when he comes back.
But I think Achane, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and now if you get something out of Darren Waller, even if he's like a league average tight end, there's pieces on the offense. I think the biggest thing is changing up the offensive scheme. I think that's Mike McDaniel's one flaw is that he has refused to change up his scheme. And it shows because a lot of teams are playing cover 2 and cover 4. They're taking away deep shots. That's why last year Jonnu Smith and Achane did so well in the receptions department because they're taking away everything intermediate and down the field. So I think if they transition more into a fully West Coast offense, I think incorporating RPOs, I think taking less deep shots and try to open up crossing routes, posts, slants, stuff like that. And getting to a kind of quick passes and quick reads. I think that would be beneficial.
Yes.
So I think that's the biggest thing. I would change the scheme, offensive line and scheme. But because I think with a healthy 2 and a decent offensive line, I think Miami's good for 9 to 11 wins yearly.
Yeah, and the last thing too that I'll quickly say before we go on to the next portion, the next question of this is the Dolphins lack physicality, which is why in September and October they look great. Teams aren't playing that physical style of football, and They look always great at the beginning of the year, but when it starts to get colder, when teams start to get to the running game, it's difficult because Achane's a really good runner, but having him in a dual backfield, like when they had Mostert, when he was able to run, I mean, obviously that worked really well, but they still had a finesse on the outside, and they weren't able to really get physical with teams, which is why when the Chiefs played them in the cold, Tua's not great in the cold, but when the Chiefs played in the cold, they just bullied them. They just get bullied against the better teams, and you have to think the best teams in the league: Ravens, physical; Lions, physical; Bills, physical; Chiefs, physical; Eagles, physical. Like the best teams in the league are just super physical teams, so it's hard to beat them at that. And trading, I would maybe even trade Tyreek Hill, to your point, for an offensive lineman. Go get somebody who can go block because you need it.
Jalen Waddle could be a number one. So
Like an Elton Jenkins from Green Bay. Like he's actually a very good lineman, and they would take a wide receiver like that. Obviously, you get a burner for Jordan Love. I mean, they obviously have they have a bunch of C pluses to B pluses, but they don't have any A's or anything like that. So you get an A to get along with the Jaden Reed to Matthew Golden, who I think could be really good. That could be really scary. But we'll move on here. I'm interested for this one. I'm going to give Kyle this one. Kyle, if you were Steven and Jerry Jones, if you were in that position, what would you do with Micah Parsons? Are you just paying him like they should be? Would you have paid him earlier? Or at this point, if he's asking for $45 million over, like, which is more, would you try to move him? I'm curious. What would you do?
Just pay him. It's Micah Parsons. He's an elite pass rusher who doesn't miss games. I think last year was like the most injured he was, and he missed 4 or 5 games. Yeah, he's a generational pass rusher who suits up. Pay him. And if your aspirations are Super Bowl, pay him. But the Cowboys, they're the kings of content. We saw this last year with Dak. Like, at the end of the day, they're going to pay him. And
CD and Dak did the same thing, and they just made themselves spend probably $30 to $40 million more than they had to. They
love the drama over there in Dallas. So, I mean, we know how this is going to play out. And if they do trade him, it'll be like hella dramatic. It'll be they'll make sure it's to a team like the Patriots or the Steelers, or they'll make sure it's like a team that we're all going to talk about, or they'll send them to like fucking Cleveland, like the middle of nowhere or some shit like that. So whatever way it plays out,
if they send them to Cleveland, it was Parsons and Garrett,
or they'll do some dumb shit. If this was like, they'll do some shit like send them to the Browns for Myles Garrett, like trade Parsons for Garrett. Like that's changing anything. You know what I mean? So they'll, regardless of what they do, they'll make sure it's a huge story. They'll either make it a crazy trade,
send them to Philly for AJ Brown, so AJ Brown can get more targets. Philly's just gonna be like, sure, we'll
an individual superstar for superstar trade. Yeah, no, they're either gonna trade him in a ridiculous fashion, which I don't think happens. I think they pay him. Who knows? Maybe similar to Dak. Maybe this deal's been done, and they just wait till the day before week 1. Or I think last year it was Sunday morning of week 1 that they released the news.
It was 2 years ago. I think was Dak last year? Oh no, Dak was last year. CD was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Listen, you forget it because they just do it every year. They're gonna find a new player to do it with. It's like, wait, what are we doing? But yeah, they're just gonna do this.
Yeah, no, it's not Jerry and Steven, especially Jerry. Like, it's not his first rodeo of Hall of Fame type players holding out, so he'll get paid.
So I'm assuming Brandon and Timmy, you guys both would just sign Micah, correct?
Yeah.
Pay the man.
Okay, so pay the man. Okay, so I figured that would be the take. I'm interested on the thoughts. If you were to trade Micah, where would you try to trade? Just off the cuff, where would you try to trade him to, or what are you looking to get back for Micah?
3 first-round draft picks minimum, and I want a Pro Bowl caliber player.
Okay. Any position in particular are we thinking?
I mean, if I could get a younger pass rusher, maybe like somebody less developed, like I guess that would be cool. Like, I don't know. Let's just throw this one out here. Let's say Cincinnati. Cincinnati's like done with the Trey Hendrickson thing, and then also done with Shamar Stewart, even though he showed up to camp, obviously. And I don't think in any sort of world this would happen. But if Cincinnati said, "Hey, here's 2 first-round picks and Trey Hendrickson," like, I'd listen to it.
Okay, so here's the thing: if Cincinnati did that,
Yeah, I know.
I get that Micah's better than Trey Hendrickson. He's younger. That would be one of the most idiotic things to do in the world. Trey Hendrickson, production wise, has been arguably the best rusher over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And we're literally just going to basically say, hey, we're going to get a little better, a more athletic version of them and give 2 first-round picks. If you want to listen, then here's the thing. I'm not even mad at you saying that because it's something that I could envision the Bengals organization be like, yeah, we can get Micah. Let's give him the first. And then the Cowboys would be like, well, thanks.
It's just something that would just happen. Like, I could just see it happen. Like, it makes no sense, but I could just see it happening.
You're like, wait a second. You don't want to pay Trey Hendrickson, but we'll pay Micah even more money and then just give up to – okay, sounds great. Righty. Timmy, what would you want for Micah Parsons?
I think Jerry's crazy enough to do it. I'd give 3 firsts and Kayvon Thibodeau straight up for Micah Parsons, and I think it would be crazy enough that
I actually could
Micah is just destroying the Cowboys on some Thursday night game in New York.
God.
That would be really cool. The Giants could still be a 3-win team, and I'd root for that.
Oh, you would win 7 games at minimum with Carter and there's no
Carter
way.
and Micah.
Brian Burns.
Yeah, exactly. Carter and Micah are very similar styles.
Because you could, oh my God, you're winning at least 7 games off of them alone. Oh boy.
It would just be a meeting at the quarterback, like every 2 plays. Like,
yeah. We just high five at the QB game.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Guys, let's race to the QB, see who's faster.
in that voice.
No,
too.
that race to the QB, see who's faster. No, they trade him to like the Chargers or something, and just they get like 3 firsts from the Chargers, and then
trade him to the Lakers for Luka.
Harbaugh would cream his pants if Micah Parsons became available.
Yes.
Both Harbaughs would be like, yep. Come on. Come here. We'll pay whatever you want. Let's go get Micah. But no, I was just making sure everybody was on obviously we figured it was on the pay Micah thing, but it's kind of just funny to talk about the fact that the Cowboys yearly are putting themselves in a position where they have to overpay and not for Micah because he's really worth the money. And CD, for the most part, is worth the money.
Micah's been asking for this contract for like the whole offseason.
He wants to be in Dallas, which is the thing that gets you.
They waited, and now we get the Myles Garrett contract. It just kicks that contract up. That's all it does. You just keep waiting, and you keep shooting yourself right in the foot. So.
TJ Watt, too, also drove it up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and when Hendrickson does get signed, he's going to push it up too. I'm expecting he gets some sort of deal, even if it's a 1 or 2 year deal.
So it's just one of those things where you're like, you're just costing more, and then with CD, you have other receivers going. It's just costing more. It's the same thing the Bengals did. Like, we really thought we weren't going to sign Jamar Chase. We were questioning how good he was. The day you could have extended him, I would have been like, here's your check. Put a realistic number on it.
Right, whatever.
Put a number on it that's not like $50 million, and we'll sign it. We'll call it.
Here's the salary cap for the year, and just make sure it's under there. Somewhere.
Just like make it so we can breathe financially, and sure, we'll go on with our day. It's like, what are we? Why are we thinking? Why are we overthinking this? But anyways, and then so that means we've got Brandon with the final question. And I was interested because I was thinking about this myself at this point. Would you trade Christian McCaffrey? And if so, do you have like a relative destination that you would bring Christian McCaffrey?
So, putting myself, if I'm in John Lynch's shoes, I would not, at least not this year. I understand the whole Achilles thing last year. When Christian McCaffrey's healthy, he's one of the best, if not the best running back in the league, not named Saquon. I'm kind of looking at it as like from like a depth standpoint, like who do you have behind him? It's Isaac Guerrero. You don't have Jordan Mason anymore because he's in Minnesota. God, they have someone else.
They're
I
meeting
forget
with Jeff Wilson, longtime 49er.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Might sign him.
because he's a needle mover.
Yeah.
Bring back Raheem Mostert too. Why not? Let's have a full family reunion.
Carlos Hyde out of retirement. We'll run it
Oh
back.
my god, I can't think of. Keep going. I'll have the back in my head in a second. Go on.
I wouldn't trade him because like I think he's so instrumental to their offense. Like kind of like him and George Kittle. Like I feel like that's two players that you just can't get rid of in San Fran. Even if I wasn't in San Francisco, if it was Seattle, if it was Houston, like I wouldn't get rid of him. Like I feel like the injuries are kind of like something that you come to expect with him.
Yeah.
And really, I feel like it was a little bit of bad luck because the year before, like he was healthy pretty much all year. Played a full season, like was obviously very, very good. He looks good in camp right now. I would keep him. Like I think the only reason that I'd trade him is if somebody called and said, "Hey, like if they gave me something so ridiculous that like I had to take it." Like if I got someone called and said, "Hey, we'll give you a first, a third, and X player or whatever," and it's a starter level player, then like yeah, I would definitely consider it. If I were to trade him, teams that I would like to see him on, man, I'd love to see him in Cincinnati. I understand they got Chase Brown, and I love Chase Brown, but like I just think Christian McCaffrey on that offense would just be bonkers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Miami, I think he'd be cool in Miami. I know they got Achan. I mean, there's not really like I feel like there's not really a lot of teams that would be willing to pay that price. I mean, for that reason alone, I'd just keep them. Because, like I said, I really, besides Saquon, like, and maybe Bijan, like, there's an argument.
Well, depending, but
yeah, Derrick Henry, it depends on the argument. Like, I think he's still a top 5 back.
He's healthy. That's where because like I think the 4 people for me that are definitively in that right there is Saquon, Derrick Henry, Bijan, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has put himself there for me at least. That 5th spot's a little bit like, is it Josh Jacobs with the way he ran last year? Obviously, Jonathan Taylor's obviously been just a consistent back when healthy, and he obviously has missed a little bit of time. And then if all healthy and right, Christian McCaffrey's like definitively there. It's just like, is he going to be healthy and right? Like that's kind of just where that is. Like to me, those 4 are like my definitive, and then that 5th spot could be 5 or 6 guys. But Kyle, Timmy, I'm going to start Kyle and then go Timmy last. Kyle, you're not trading McCaffrey, or would you actually try to get off of him maybe a year too early instead of a year too late kind of thing?
He's so tricky because he does have a like minor injury history minus last year. So I'm like right with Brandon. Like probably ideally you would like to trade him, but you're not going to get like in my mind, his value would be like a 3rd rounder. Like I could picture if they did trade him, he gets traded for a 3rd rounder with a healthy McCaffrey trades for like 2 first rounders probably, or maybe more, whatever,
Yeah.
What did the 49ers trade for him to Carolina? I forget.
I believe it was
Speaking,
4 picks. I think there were 2 seconds. I'm almost positive there was not a first in that trade. I think it was like 2 seconds, a third, and a fourth.
Yeah, and that was 2 full seasons ago, right? That was the year they went to the Super Bowl.
October of 2022. Sending a second, a third, a fourth in 2023, and a 5th in 2024.
Yeah, and Brandon's exactly right. Like I think I would have said the exact same answer Brandon gave us. Like if he's healthy, like you can almost book San Francisco to win that division. Damn near. I mean, the Rams are gonna have something to say about that, but like that offense is so dynamic.
The 49ers schedule is kind of cake.
Yeah, they've got statistically they got the easiest schedule going into the season. Whatever that might mean, but they just flow so well offensively when he's right. Like you can almost guarantee them for 6 yards of play. It seems like when McCaffrey's going, and you got someone like Purdy who's, if nothing else, he's accurate and can throw the ball down the field. Like it just opens their offense up, and you got IU coming back. So yeah, if they can just keep him healthy, and that's their addition to the offense. I mean, that's a huge addition. That's a Hall of Fame addition. But I agree with Brandon though. I don't think there's too many teams who would actually offer even maybe half of what the package, just because was for San Francisco to Carolina, just because of it was a double Achilles injury, right? At the end of the day last year. So yeah, that's tough.
He would have to be the perfect situation to where, like, if you were to remove James Cook from the Bills, it would have to be a situation like that where it'd be like a team who was like right on the cusp, who needs that one piece, and then put it there. Like maybe, but like even with Joe, like, but it'd have to be like a specific team, and that's really difficult to find.
Can I add another layer to this?
Yeah, sure.
Trade deadline.
Obviously.
I forget is that week 6, week 8. What is it? 6, 7, or 8? Is
week
it 9 now?
I think.
I think it's
9.
Okay. Like, so let's say he plays 7 out of 9 games, or all 9 games, and he's, for the 95% McCaffrey, like he looks good. Do you then get out of it then and like take the highest bidder? Right? It's one of those things. It's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I gotta keep him, man, because you're talking 2,000
exactly.
yards. Like, I'm keeping him.
What's our record? Is what I'm thinking.
Let's say they're 4-2, or what week is it for sure?
It's after week 9.
So let's say no bye. Let's say they are.
5.
Let's say they're 5-4. 6-3, 5-4.
I think I would have to be maybe 3-6 to do it, because then at that point we're not going to the playoffs this year, and what is he going to look like after a full season, a full off season? Like, is he going to be back there? So that's when, and also that is when maybe just a random team, maybe a Bengals team is like, ooh, Chase Brown isn't cutting it. We need to kind of get another guy there to kind of get that running game going. Or, ooh, maybe a Pacheco goes down again. I don't wish injury on anybody, obviously, but Pacheco goes down again. The Chiefs are like, let's go get Christian McCaffrey. We can give up a second because we draft well. Or, like just something like that. Or maybe a third or whatever because we draft well and we're fine to give that. Like, maybe those are the situations. So I think trade deadline would be the most interesting time for him, especially if the 49ers.
The part about it that is weird with the 49ers especially, they can kind of plug and play at running back. Like, they will get success out of damn near whoever at running back. But the thing is with McCaffrey, obviously, like Brandon said, there's a chance of 2,000 all-purpose yards there. And he's essentially an extra receiver. So...
Yeah, it's tough. If that, Timmy, your thoughts on Christian McCaffrey, and then I'm actually going to skip a little portion to get to a portion. So,
I don't think they can trade him. I don't think any team's going to be willing to pay anything reasonable for them to pull the trigger on it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's week 9 and Christian McCaffrey has played all 9 games, I got to think their record is a little bit better than 5 wins, 6 wins. I think that they're a good team, especially like we said, they got an easy schedule this year. So Christian McCaffrey is the heart of this team. Brandon Ayuk's not going to be there. We've seen Ricky Pearsall has a hamstring injury that he's nursing. Juwan Jennings wants a contract. Christian McCaffrey, it's all been good news. He's been healthy. He's putting up highlight reels in practice. So I think they stick with him. I don't think they would trade him, just because I think a team's going to come in here and say, hey, I'll give you a 4th and a 5th, and that's not worth anything at the end of the day. So ride him out for, 2 more years at most. And that's another big problem is any team that's coming to get him, it's a 1 or 2 year run. It's, okay, we're a Super Bowl contender this year, next year we're going to get one.
Which is why it has to be the perfect situation for, it has to be like the perfect storm of, we draft well so we can give up a 3rd and a 5th. We're also competing for a championship. The 49ers aren't great. So, it has to be a perfect, triangle of things. And then just that team, it has to be all of that. Literally, it'd be if the Chiefs lost Pacheco and the 49ers were 4-5. But even so, they end the season with the Cardinals, the Panthers, Cleveland, Tennessee, Indy, Chicago, and Seattle. So,
sit them down for those 7 games. You don't got to play Christian McCaffrey.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. If I'm them, because obviously a Super Bowl is the goal for them, I would play him on a legitimate pitch count. I would just Tim Duncan in his last year with the Spurs, where I'm he'll
20.
get 10. He'll get 10 carries today. There's legitimately games where we're going to give him enough carries so he doesn't get cold. But, like, if we don't need him, I'm just going to sit him to the side. He doesn't need to do anything. So I think we're all in agreement there. I think for the most part, we were kind of in agreement there, which is good. But all good conversations to have preseason. 3 interesting teams for sure that could be definitely in the mix. So I have some general questions here, but I'm actually going to skip those because I think we're going to touch on some of those general questions here in this rapid question thing. So you don't have to even specifically give me the teams sometimes for this. If you want to kind of give me a team to kind of tease some of the ideas you have going forward, obviously when we do our predictions, you can. If you want to save it because you want it to be a surprise, that's cool too. First question. Will there be a 14-plus win team in the league this year? Whoever can go first. Last year, I believe we had 3. We had the Vikings were 14, the Lions were 15, the Chiefs were 15, and I think the Eagles were 14. So I think we have 4.
I think the Eagles were 14. Yeah.
I think we'll definitely get at least one, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Doesn't have to. Yeah, don't need to know who, but if you want to give like a maybe who, sure. But if you don't have to give who,
it seems like we'll get one.
It is. Yeah, I think we'll get one. Just how it goes. It is tough to pinpoint one because a lot of these teams that we would project have tough schedules. So
yeah, see, that's kind of where I was thinking about it because like it would have to either be maybe a team like the 49ers who have a light schedule and if they can all click, but obviously their defense doesn't have the pieces it normally does. But at the same time, they have a better coordinator than they've had in the past. So I think we'll probably have. Well, I think we'll have at least 1, if not 2. Do you think anyone gets to 15?
No.
I could see Philly getting to 15 just because of their roster talent. Like they're so good. Like the only way they don't is if not wishing injury, but if Saquon or knock on wood, like anything like that happens, like I don't know, Philly's so good. Like their defense too. Like their defense should only get better because their young guys are a year older. So.
Yeah, I know they lost pieces, but at the same time, like, and the thing is, I do think Jalen Hurts has the ability to take a step. Like, when you're asking him to throw so far in his career, he's really shown up and done it for the most part. Like year 3, I think it was, like the year after the MVP. I know they had that weird slide at the end of the year, but for the most part, like obviously in both Super Bowls, he's played great, played phenomenal. And like when he's needed to make some big throws throughout even the regular season, typically he's made those plays. He's kind of just naturally a winner. Like he's just going to do what it takes just to win the game. So that was 1. I've got 10 of these. So kind of obviously trying to go rapid fire with these ones I same with. Will there be any individual records broken this year? So rushing touchdowns, receiving yards, sacks, most yards, passing yards, most passing touchdowns, most pregnancies,
baby mamas,
most baby mamas. Any individual records, season individual records will be broken this year.
Is all-purpose yards a record?
Yeah. I'll count all-purpose. Yeah, most all-purpose yards for sure.
I'll give you all-purpose yards.
Don't tell me who. Actually, kind of because I think that could give away maybe something there. But most all-purpose yards. Yep. Okay, interesting. Kyle, do you think any individual records will be broken this season?
You almost have to say yeah because there's an extra game now. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think we could see a couple like get close. I'm probably going to say no, none will get broken. But ones that I could definitely see the sack record going down, and I could
give me the sack record
potentially with a certain couple teams. The wide receiver yards in a season, I think, could potentially go down. But most of them, like we just saw with Saquon, like they did sit him that last game, but it took an incredible season to even get close to the point where they could break it. Yeah. So it is really tough to do.
I don't think the rushing one, because of how much by committee it is, will really get, because like essentially it would be saying, hey, Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley or maybe Bijan Robinson, if they decide to really roll him out like they can, are going to break it. Because like Gibbs is just on such a, like he would have to average like 10 yards a carry. He would have to have like such an insane yards to carry for him to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Montgomery's he's gonna touch the ball probably 20 times a game, and not all of them are gonna be rushing. So like on his 15 attempts, he would have to be like $130. It feels like a game where his yards per carry would be insane. But okay, so that was the question 2. 3. Do you give me just an idea of a player? Obviously, you don't have to say like how big, but players that you think could take a big leap this season from year whatever to year whatever. If any of you guys have any just offhand.
I'll give you one.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big name, but like,
okay, that's fine.
It's like a huge name. Bijan Robinson. Like, I think he's about to go to the moon, to fucking Pluto.
They just need to let him go. Like, they need to just say, hey, Tyler Algier, you're cute. Let him go.
It's camp, but like, because obviously Atlanta's like my second team. The shit that granted, it's training camp, so I take everything with a grain of salt, but the stuff that I've been seeing from beat reporters is like, okay. Like, all right.
Like, oh, okay, this guy might be real. Okay. I got it. Timmy or Kyle, if you guys have somebody.
Go ahead, Tim.
Keenan out here trying to get fantasy info. I see how you're doing.
I'm not. Listen, I do not base my fantasy picks or anything on you guys. I promise you that.
One guy I could definitely see taking a step is Jamison Williams. I think he could potentially develop into their number one wide receiver there. I really do. If they keep Amon-Ra in the slot, I think J-Mo, he's a burner. He could beat him long. He can go crazy. So that's one guy that I'm definitely pretty high on, especially in fantasy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to perform really well.
Okay. Kyle, do you have anybody?
Kind of in line with Tim. Well, I mean, there's always a breakout. I'm kind of in line with Tim, and we kind of saw him break out last year, but Jahmyr Gibbs, I feel like he could almost take 2 steps up. Like, he's just that explosive. And then C.J. Stroud. I won't say he had an off year or two, but he had a bit of a sophomore slump. And I think if you think the Texans are a contender this year, it would hinge on C.J. Stroud being like, I don't want to say Jaden Daniels level last year, because that's funny to say, like rookie after rookie, but like it would hinge on him at least taking a leap to where you're like, all right, this is for sure a guy we can hang our hat on, which they believe they have. But like, this is a guy we know can just go out and throw for 400 on a win. We can just ride his coattails, for these, divisional games and such and such. So, yeah, Stroud needs to be that type of guy in year 3, and I think he can do it.
Yes. I like it a lot because I also think that, like, Jaden Daniels might push him a bit, just, like, mentally. Like, everyone's like, oh, I had the best rookie season ever, and then the next year it's like, oh, this Jaden Daniels guy, already better than me, best rookie season ever. Kind of like those kind of things where, like, your ego almost comes in like, wait, did I forget what I did literally a calendar year prior to him? Like, I understand he got to the championship. We still won a playoff game. And even last year, and Kyle, as you were saying, he kind of did have a little bit of a sophomore slump. Still won a playoff game. Still got to the divisional round again. So I do have a guy. My guy is Bucky Irving. I think that I really like the way that they were using him towards the end of the mid to end of the season. And I think that he could truly become like close to a top 10 kind of guy in the league, like when it comes to running back wise. I really like his energy that he runs with. He has hands out of the back. I think that Bucky Irving could be someone that, like, you look at and you're like, oh, he ran for 1450 last year or this year. Okay. I think he could be like kind of guy, not like in a 16, 1800 kind of guy, but like a 1450. I think he could be that. Okay. So we kind of actually already talked about this one, but I'm actually going to see any other ones. Coaches on the hot seat. We talked about Mike McDaniel already. Any other coaches that you feel either should, could, or are on the hot seat?
Belichick in Carolina.
Hey, you know what? I was thinking NFL, but you know what? I'm fine with it.
As far as NFL goes, Mike McDaniel, obviously. Maybe Shane Steichen, even though I think he's a good coach. But that's just a weird situation. Shit.
Brian
Callahan for sure,
Tennessee.
for sure, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah. But that's a little bit of a caveat, though, with another rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where I think Callahan might be on the hot seat if a coach comes available, kind of thing. Like the same thing that happened with Gerard Mayo, where like I don't think he was
Yeah.
specifically on like the hot seat, but they saw Vrabel was interested, and it was like, well, we got him, so we're gonna
Dable's
get
on the
out of
hot
here.
seat too.
Timmy.
Yeah, Brian Dable.
Brian Dable for sure.
Oh, I thought how you said
Vrabel
Vrabel.
too. Dable and Vrabel.
I thought you was like
Yeah,
what?
Vrabel, you're out of here. I know it's year one, buddy.
I was like, wait a second. He is not on the hot seat.
Dable
Patriots
and
fan.
Vrabel.
Loses 3 preseason games and they're gone.
Dan Campbell, hot seat. They don't win the Super Bowl.
hottest seat in the league. No, so for me, actually, a guy that I have on the hot seat, I think you'll hear it more as the season goes on, depending on how it goes, is Zach Taylor. I think
See
at
that.
some point, I
yeah.
think at some point it comes to like we missed the playoffs 3 years in a row. If they miss the playoffs again this year, and you got rid of Lou last year, so you can't just continue to get rid of D coordinator after D coordinator. You're not getting rid of Burrow. You paid Chase. You paid Higgins. They signed even Noah Fant, which threw me off because I was like, they already have tight ends. But yeah, no, I think Zach Taylor could be a guy who you're like, let's get him out of here, get somebody new in there, kind of just get some fresh thoughts, fresh ideas in there. All right. This one I thought was kind of interesting. Rashee Rice is taken out of this because we already know there's something looming. Will there be any suspensions of 4 games or more
of
this
course.
year?
Yeah.
You think so? Okay. I use 4 games or more as like I feel there's going to be suspensions, but sometimes it's like a 2 or 3 game kind of thing.
Well,
4 games or more. So Kyle has.
So they already said that over 100 players are going to be penalized for Super Bowl tickets. And there's a lot going on with the NFLPA. Yeah, and someone always gets popped for steroids. Jameson Williams could get popped for like FanDuel and DraftKings again. So someone's bound. I mean, we're seeing that in the NBA more and more. Someone's bound to get some gambling charges against them or whatever. So
Yeah.
between the steroids and that, and then
Calvin Ridley
the
about to pop off
incoming
again.
whatever's going on with the 100 players that are going to be penalized, yeah, someone's going to get popped for 4 or more.
Okay. Timmy, Brandon, you think so or no?
I think 4 is a lot. I don't know how severe the NFL is taking this whole Super Bowl ticket thing. Like, do they just be like, oh, don't do that again, slap on the wrist? It could just be a bunch of like 2-game suspensions or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like we've never really seen something of that caliber, so we don't really know. And then a lot of the people that are going to get suspended, like you said, Rashee Rice is probably going to be a 3 to 4, maybe 5 games, maximum 6. And then Jordan Addison, his DUI is probably going to put him at like a 3-game suspension. I think it's actually tough because the answer should be yes, with Quinshon Judkins getting this whole like domestic abuse thing going on. But he hasn't signed his contract yet, so he's not employed by the NFL, so they can't suspend him until he signs his contract. So if it all gets taken care of before he becomes an NFL player, then maybe they don't even suspend him at all.
Yeah.
So it is tough with 4. I'm actually going to say no, because I think most of these suspensions will be 2 to 3 game suspensions.
Okay. I felt like 4 was a solid number because it's a lot of games. Obviously, like 4 games is a quarter of the season about. So, like, I feel obviously people are getting suspended for 2 to 3 games. So 4 I felt like was a number. Brandon, what do you think? Yes or no?
I'm going to say no, unless Calvin Ridley just decides that he wants to get back on DraftKings again. Then yes. But
I think that's a sidebar. I really think betting on your team to win, I don't think's a problem to me. As long as we can track your bets, like I don't think it's a problem. But that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would have to be something like that or PEDs. I mean, it seems like there's always something with PEDs. Like It's kind of like 50-50. I'm going to say no, but like I also wouldn't be surprised if somebody got suspended for 6 games, 8 games, or whatever for taking HGH or whatever.
Yeah, very fair. My answer is actually I'm going with Warner Brothas Podcast. That's why we're here together. My answer is yes. I think someone's gonna get got for 4 or more games. All right. So this like next 5 section questions here. Choose a side. You don't have to give the answers of who or what because I don't want to give like too much of the answer away. But just choose a side. So first one. Will we have a new MVP this year or a repeat MVP this year? So the people who've won MVPs, you've got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes, the guys who are active who have won MVPs. Or will we have a new MVP this year?
New MVP.
New MVP? Okay.
It's difficult.
Yeah, now that I'm glad Allen won it because it makes this question more difficult.
Yeah.
Like new or so I was thinking about that today. Will we have a new MVP or not? I do think we're gonna have a new one. Obviously, it's very possible that we don't, but I think we're gonna have a new one.
I would lean more towards repeat.
Okay.
I'll go repeat. Like, there's obviously a couple players that can win the first one, but I like the chances of a repeat better.
I think I do too as well. I like
Kyle,
the repeat better. Like thinking about the field, obviously,
Okay.
like percentage wise, you would take the field, but I don't know. Some of the past winners are in advantageous situations.
Yeah, and like if you look at a lot of the past winners for MVPs, it kind of is just a bunch of repeats, just on different years. Like Manning's got 5, Rodgers 4, Brady 3. You have like your random one-offs, Cam, Matt Ryan, AP kind of thing. But over a long period of time, it really was just like a repeat of kind of 3 guys winning it. So, and then Mahomes comes in, and now Lamar comes in. So, interesting.
I honestly,
All right.
sorry, I don't
Go
interrupt. I
No,
think
you're
the
good.
only 2 that would be repeat contenders for me are Allen and Jackson.
And country singer Alan
I
Jackson.
throw Mahomes in there too.
Oh, definitely country singer Alan Jackson. Shout out. Those are the only 2 that I think could repeat here. Like Rodgers, no thanks, and then Mahomes just isn't. The offense isn't what it used to be. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair. Okay. You don't have to obviously tell me what here, but just kind of an idea. And even if you don't, you can obviously workshop something. Like if you think maybe I lean this way, but you don't know, that's perfectly fine. Just lean one way or the other. 2 new Super Bowl teams or only 0 or 1 new Super Bowl team?
I'm gonna take the 2 new teams.
2 new teams.
I
Okay.
think we get a fun one this year.
Get a
I'm
fun
rolling
one.
with that as
Cool.
well.
Obviously, you
2 new
don't.
teams.
2 new. Okay.
I'm
What
gonna
do you
go
think?
with 0. I'm gonna go with 0 to 1.
See, I'm with you. I think probably 0 to 1. And again, this doesn't lock in anything for our predictions or anything. This is just as of right now, interested 0 to 1 or 2. Okay. Just want to make sure that everyone knows that this doesn't mean that Brandon and I think either the Chiefs or Eagles have to be in the Super Bowl this year. That would be interesting. But I would lean right now 0 to 1. So, coach fired at the midseason or no coaches fired at the midseason? What do you think's more likely?
I think we'll see one.
Think we'll
Definitely.
see one? Okay.
I think
I
Daboll
don't
could be
think-
gone week 5. I think Mike McDaniels could be gone week 6 or 7. I'll definitely side with the. We'll get at least one firing in the
Okay.
middle.
Because I don't think we had one last year.
I'm gonna go
We
with
had, we had someone early last
No,
year,
no
right?
fire.
Eberflus, right?
Oh yeah.
There wasn't one more. There was. I thought there
was
was one like week.
because like back-to-back years the Panthers.
Robert Saleh. He
Saleh
was
there,
super
that's right,
early.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Okay, never mind. We did.
I actually feel like we'll make it past the midway point. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
Whether that's double
Me
digit
personally-
or if it's completely the off season, I think it's later in the season regardless.
Okay. I personally think it's going to be before midseason, and I've been on record saying Mike McDaniel's going to get gone, so it's not really saying much for me. I think Mike McDaniel's got
You're getting the can, buddy.
bud. Can of whooping. Get out of here. hit the road. But,
Bro, play it.
And Brandon, did you give your answer? Or are you going no or?
No, yeah, I don't think there's
Okay,
going to be any before me.
I just wanted to make sure that was there because I couldn't fully remember. Okay. So, the AFC.
I have a quick question. I do have a quick question before we go on.
Go on.
Why do you both think Mike McDaniel? Because I mean, the Dolphins' offense is at least pretty healthy right now. Why are you guys so bullish that he's going to get fired like 6 weeks in?
So I've just been feeling like the Dolphins just keep going backwards a half step. Like they just feel like they've been here and then they've been here and then they've been like here. And I think kind of like the Jags last year, you felt like they were either going to be a true playoff contending team that might be able to make some noise, or they're going to just be bad. And I think they're at that point for me, and I'm leaning toward the bad rather than the playoff contender. So that's kind of just where I think at some point, like iterations of teams kind of just run out. Tyreek Hill, the rumblings of Tyreek Hill, how much faith do you have into the line is a little makeshift-ish, and then defensively they have like holes. So I just don't think that they're great. Obviously, they have the ability to really put up points. We know that they have that high-power offense. I just don't think they're going to be too consistent. They also start the season off Bears, Detroit. Oh, sorry, no, that's wrong. Colts, Patriots, Buffalo, Jets. So they could be 2-2. I would have them 2-2 there. The Panthers, Chargers, Cleveland, Atlanta, Baltimore.
See, I actually think that's a favorable schedule for them to start off. Like I think they could be 4-4.
I do too. Yeah.
So they could be. So I think they could probably be 5-4-ish. If they lose a couple games they're not supposed to and they're 3-6, I think you easily could fire them. Because I think, as you're right, as a favorable schedule, like you should on paper beat Carolina, but I think a game at Carolina you could actually lose that game. And if you like, those are the type of games, and then you play teams like the Chargers, the Ravens, the Bills. I think that Patriots game is going to be tough. Atlanta is going to be. Depending on what Atlanta team you're going to get, and we'll know more about it.
I think I just have a hard time seeing Miami pulling the trigger that quick. They just don't seem too overreactionary.
Fair.
And they just extended him last offseason, I believe. So I could see them at least like being like, you know.
It's been my bold prediction when we did our bold takes. That's been my bold prediction. I'm sticking to it. We are sticking to this bold prediction. I could be very wrong, but we're just doubling
Tim, what you
down
got?
on it.
My thing with McDaniels is we're probably going to see Tua go down at some point, and like I hope he doesn't. Hope he stays perfectly healthy and plays 17 games. But as soon as Tua goes down, McDaniels just doesn't change enough of their offense to make it work anymore. He runs the exact same offense with a lesser QB, and then you can't. Yeah. It doesn't work. And that's something that a real good coach would say, okay, I'm going to play to the strengths of my players playing right now.
Sure.
So when Tua was down last year, pretty sure they lost like all those games. They might have won one.
They became the worst offense in the league with the Patriots.
They immediately went to
they were
the bottom.
Terrible offensively.
Stu Huntley was running the quarterback position.
They were terrible. And I understand you don't have great quarterback play, but like when Mike McDaniels was put in that Kyle Shanahan and like Sean McVay kind of class, we saw what those coaches have done without their lead quarterbacks, and they've at least done well. We saw Matt LaFleur last year when they had no Jordan Love. Malik Willis looked like prime.
That's exactly what he did. Is he played Malik to his strengths. He was letting him running a lot of RPOs where he could actually pull it and go. There are tons of ways that McDaniels could have changed things, and I don't even remember who was it. Huntley was their backup.
Yeah, it was Snoop.
So sure, they're not it's not a great option there, but you still got to do something because, like Keenan just said, when Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo went down or Brock Purdy went down, whoever that lesser backup was that came in still did good. They still won games with them. They still scored good points with them.
Baby.
we never. I've never seen it with McDaniels, so I've just never been super on him. Other than that very first year that he was in there, he kind of took the league by storm with a super pass heavy, super fast, go deep a lot, and it worked. But since then, it just has been a little bit downhill every single year, and a lot of that is Tua just not being there for 10 games or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think if that does happen and he shows again that he's not willing to change an offense, then I think that's a fireable offense right there.
Fair. I got two more. I also want to say this quick point about the Dolphins. They end their season brutally. Golly. They end from week 9 on. Baltimore, Buffalo, Washington bye. They get a couple reprieves and the Saints and Jets, but then it's Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Tampa, and New England.
That's tough.
That's my God. That like
Was
so
that
if they aren't
wins?
like you're right, Kyle, that beginning of the season, they need to be like 6-3 to try to weather that storm. Because if they go into that 500 or under 500, they really could end like 7-10. And definitely, I think McDaniels could.
They have a
like
gift there.
7-10,
They have a gift there with Indianapolis week 1. I mean, you just get to get either Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. Like, you got a gift there. So,
And the fact that it's an
If
either
they-
or doesn't say greater things about Daniel Jones because we know what Anthony Richardson is.
If they lose week 1 to the Colts, fire Mike McDaniels right there, man. They better win this game.
I
Absolutely.
think Anthony Richardson's about to pop off.
that's a hot take.
3 completions for a
Of course
buck 80.
you do. I wonder why, Gator. I wonder why you think Anthony Richardson's popping off. All right. 2 more quick questions, and then we'll get out of here. The AFC will have 1 or more new division winners, or the AFC stays the same. The last 2 years, it's been the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Texans. Do we think it's going to be those 4 teams again winning the division? Possibly. If you want to say a maybe, again, this is a lean. You can change minds. Just interesting. Which way do we lean?
I think we get one. I think we get at least one change.
Get one. Get at least one.
I'd take the 1 for sure, but
Take the one
I
at
could
least.
tease a 2 there. I could see 2 divisions flopping.
Okay.
I'll
Don't
tell
need
you
to
right
me which
now.
ones?
I'll tell you right
unless
now.
you
I
want to.
will. The Texans aren't winning the division this year.
Yeah, Jaguars, baby.
Could be.
Yeah,
I think it could be a quick turnaround from worst to first for the Jags. I could definitely see it.
It was the same. Timmy called the Jags last year. He was not on the Jags last year. He
Yeah.
called that from day one. Brandon, do you think we get Homer, do you think we get a new one?
Oh, yeah. I've got conviction in my answer.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say an AFC. I think as of this moment, the AFC stays the same. I'm subject to change this. AFC. Alrighty. And last but not least, do we get 2 or more new conference championship teams, or do we think we get 1 or less? So last year it was Eagles and Commanders, and it was Chiefs and Bills.
How many teams are we talking here?
2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Think we get 2 new
sure.
teams? Okay.
We definitely get 2 new teams.
I
Keenan,
think we
you get 2?
get 3
We might
new
get
teams.
3
Yeah, I
new
agree with
teams.
Tim. I think we get at least
Yeah.
3.
You think
We
3?
get at least
Okay.
3.
It would not shock me if all 4 are new. It wouldn't shock me. I would put money on 2+, and I'm leaning towards 3 new.
Okay. Brandon, what about you?
I'm going to go, I could see 2. Like,
You can see
there's-
2.
Yeah, I could see 2, yeah.
See, I'm thinking I'm at 2, and I'm super hopeful for 2. Like, I am super hopeful for at least 2.
Get the Chiefs
But-
out of there, man. Fuck,
No,
bored.
I'm like, I need the Chiefs to be like, so it can be 1 as long as the Chiefs aren't there. Like, I just need them.
Yeah.
I just need a new team in the championship game. Like, that's all I need. Just give me that. But all right, that was the rapid fire questions. If anyone has any other points right now, let me know. But if not, I thought this was a very fun time talking football again, getting those juices flowing on the night of Hall of Fame game night.
I feel like I had a
Going
We
once.
got
I had a question. I gotta look through my notes here.
Chargers up 27-7, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a laser light show for the backups, but also as quickly while we're here, shout out to Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp for being inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame this year. All really good careers, all guys that I actually firmly know, which is nice because sometimes you have those old guys where I'm like, Nope.
It's like a right guard from the 70s. He's on his 12th ballot.
I got no idea who this is, but all guys that I've known, two of which that I've confidently watched like multiple, like actual live games of. So shout out to them. Congratulations for making the Hall of Fame. Obviously, this is the most prestigious award you can get. And honestly, I'm going to say all of sports, being inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame for the most part. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. I was talking about it. Shout out. I have a real quick point. Kyle, unless you have your point.
No, I had a question earlier, but like
yours?
I was thinking of it on my drive home, but it's escaped me. I'm sure it'll come back before the NFL season debuts, though. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's perfectly fine. Last quick point, Brandon. This is kind of for you. I work with a guy. Shout out JB. He is a massive Florida Gators fan, like a massive Florida Gators fan. And we were talking about it today, and we were like, Al Horford's probably a Hall of Famer. I was just thinking to myself, I was like, or he's like, because obviously you take in college too, so you have to think the two-peat, and then you've got obviously multiple-time All-Star, NBA champion. I think he's made an All-NBA team. I could be wrong about that. So like, he's one of those guys that's like on the cusp of being like in a weaker year, he might be a Hall of Famer. So it's like kind of crazy, and Al Horford in NFL terms wouldn't sniff
with college.
Wouldn't be
with college, he probably gets in. It's tough though, because there's some people with the NFL who sneak in. I don't know. I'd actually challenge you. I think the baseball Hall of Fame is probably the hardest one to get into out of all the major sports.
Okay, fair. You know what? Fair. I'll take it. Oh yeah, he was All NBA. He was All Defensive 1 year, All NBA 1 year, All Rookie Team, 5-time All Star, 2-time college champion, 1-time NBA champion. I think he probably gets in. I think you get.
It's not worst case scenario. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I think if Iggy gets in, I think Al Horford's gotta kind of get in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he has the MVP in the finals, but like. Otherwise, I think it kind of
Horford's very borderline. I don't think Iggy should get in, but you could also probably talk me into it years down the road with Iggy because I don't know. I don't think he's the definition of a Hall of Famer, but I also think his resume is he's got a resume. I don't think he's got a Hall of Fame resume, but he's got one where you could make a case either way. For me, he wouldn't be in. But I also wouldn't be mad if he got in. I wouldn't be mad if he got in either.
Yeah.
Hall of very good at the least,
sure.
I think. Like, you have those players that fall into that tier, and, I think that's kind of – I think that's Iggy and Horford, honestly. It's, just Hall of very good. Like, there's definitely a case, though.
Yeah, 1-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA – not 4-time All-NBA, sorry. 4-time NBA champion, 2-time All-Defense, All-Rookie, and then, obviously, the Finals MVP for Iggy. So, he's one of those guys borderline. He's a first ballot Hall of Very Good though. Hall of Very Good. He's a first ballot.
If you're just going off highlights too, your Iggy is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One Hall of
he still has the nastiest crossover I've ever seen. He sat that guy from the Nuggets down. He literally put him. Oh my gosh! But anyways, this was the Warner Brothas Podcast. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you, Kyle. We're going to obviously be coming with much more football as it is only a little bit over a month away. I think we're 36 days or something like that, real close to the NFL season starting. We're going to have obviously all of our predictions, MVPs, playoffs during the season. So thank you guys. It's going to be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that Warner Brothas Podcast. We appreciate the love, support, and we'll be seeing all of you guys very soon.